r/AskReddit. What's a huge red flag when meeting new people? A guy at work always tells new people how much he hates being married. Apparently loves his wife, but hates being married. Then goes on to say she doesn't let him drink because he becomes a nightmare to be with. Pretty sure he drank in excess on a regular basis and that she will divorce him if she catches him. The dude still drinks and drives home to his wife. He keeps a toothbrush and toothpaste in a bag that he hides in a bush near his house so that she can't smell alcohol on his breath. Found out all of this after speaking with him for 5 minutes. Apparently it's the same story with everyone. I have a coworker who has 3 kids with his significant other and they aren't married. He says marriage is the leading cause of divorce. Well, he's not wrong. They immediately talk shit about a stranger. I went to a meetup recently and got some drinks with the people after. One guy gave me a bad vibe. He seemed like he had a really low tolerance for other people messing up and being a little awkward. He was like, yeah, I was a little bit nervous about going to the meetup, but then I realized that there are some really fucking weird people and there's no reason to be nervous, just sat wrong with me because I'm kind of awkward and just want to meet new people. The last straw was when we were playing pool at the bar and this one girl had something wrong with her voice and couldn't talk very loud. So he actually asked her if that's how her voice always was or there's something wrong with it. What a douchebag. He invited me to watch football with him the next day. Lol. I didn't respond. Feeling worse after meeting them than you did before. Sometimes the person just seems off, but you can't put a finger on what exactly. Over time, you realize that your gut instinct was correct. Care to give an example? Sounds like it happened to you. I've had it happen a few times when starting a new job. Your manager takes you around the workplace and introduces you to everyone. Even though everyone will shake your hand and say great to meet you, there is usually a person or two that you just get a negative vibe from. Over time, you discover that person is difficult to work with. Not always the case, but it seems to apply the vast majority of the time. You barely know them, but suddenly you are their best friend. Everyone else is just awful. You are so special and awesome, especially at listening to their many problems. Because you are so empathetic and smart and insightful. Don't run. Sprint. Yup, I hate that. To add to this, they expect you to start spending all of your free time with them and get mad at you if you don't. It's like they want to make themselves an important part of your life, but the relationship isn't strong enough to warrant that level of interaction. I once met a girl who told me she'd stabbed her ex-partner and didn't believe in human rights, all within about 5 minutes. So would you share some red flags you noticed in her? Username terrifyingly checks out. They are proud, calling themselves jerks, two-faced and other very questionable qualities. I'm brutally honest. Fine line between blunt and rude. They're usually fucking rude. Brutally honest just means you're an asshole about it and have no tact. You can be 110% honest while still not insulting people, belittling them, or being rude in public when the situation doesn't call for it. More specific to dating, but if someone always plays the victim in their other relationships, for instance calling all their exes crazy. If they describe 1 to 2 people, okay, maybe they had bad taste or got unlucky. If everyone they dated was crazy, then they should probably look in the mirror. On a related note, I always watch out for people who introduce others badly. If the first thing you say about people is OMG this person looks funny, or they're a bitch, I'm going to wonder how they'll think and talk about me to others. Do this. I've had some poor taste in partners in the past, like severely abusive. And they were exactly like this. All their exes were crazy, insane, horrible bitches. Nothing good to say about any of them. Finally learned the hard way they were exactly that. When everything is about them. Why would you post this about me? Don't be delusional. They obviously were talking about me. I didn't know I had so many alternate accounts. Who knew I could talk about myself with so many me's? When they engage more about themselves than contribute to the conversation. I've met a few people who would talk all the problems they've had and would hardly ask any questions back. I've always felt so uncomfortable in these scenarios and usually don't pursue in a relationship with these types of people. Edit. Some people made very good points about individuals with ADHD. I should be more clear on my point by saying that some people are also very dismissive and sometimes refuse to hear what you have to say by cutting you off. I don't expect an interview from the other person, but it would be nice to have mutual interest in each other. Yeah, and they interrupt you to turn the conversation back, to focus on themselves every time you speak. If they make plans with you and they cancel later because they got a better offer. I dumped a friend of 10 years for constantly pulling shit like this. It's really shitty to always feel like you aren't good enough. She ended up getting mad at me for not bringing it up sooner. All the more reason to cut ties. Admittedly, you had a decade to bring it up. If they start talking about their MLM, multi-level marketing, scheme, they see you as a prospect, not a friend. It's not a pyramid scheme. It's an inverted funnel. I'm not selling something. I'm offering you an opportunity to better yourself. If you look at corporate America, most of those companies could be considered pyramid schemes too. A huge red flag is usually a sign of communism. We were thinking the same, comrade. We were thinking the same. Senator McCarthy would like to know your location. When a guy has absolutely nothing to say other than overly romantic / sexual stuff, or your possible future together, right after meeting. It's creepy and you don't even get to know each other better cause there's no conversation happening. God, this happens to me all the time on dates. Some guys just have nothing else to say besides flirting and sexual comments, and I just wanna know your favorite fucking color, god fucking damn it. Mine is dull purple. What about you? Gets angry over the smallest thing. The cashier shorted you $1 when giving change. Mistakes happen. Doesn't mean he/she was trying to scam you. They don't just undercook a burger, Jerry. Servers can't tell how the chef cooked your steak and cooks don't know who TF they're cooking for. It ain't personal. I don't know if it's a red flag, but I opened a new friend's fridge and there were 5 mostly empty jumbo-sized jars of mayo, like 12 liters of generic soda, and a load of damp hot dogs just kinda sitting on a plate, like they were waiting for something, ominously. I took a peek in his freezer and there were about 50 banquet pot pies, stacked all the way to the door. They were all sausage and gravy. I bought one the next time I was shopping, and I've got to say, they are not terrible. Anyway, I'll update you guys if I get slathered in mayo and murdered. It's a red flag when you invite someone new over to your house for the first time and they are already snooping around in your freezer. My ex told me early on in the relationship that she had an incest fantasy. That should been the first red flag, but I didn't take it seriously at first and thought she was joking until I caught her cheating on me with her blood-related cousin. WTF. She told me later on that one of her fantasies is to be fucked by her own dad and be abused by him. Shortly after I found out she cheated on me with her cousin from her dad's side. They keep interrupting or continue to use a shortened version of my name after specifically telling them not to. I hate it when they do that too, Jinx. Same. Afro. Really hurts me sometimes. Like, why would people do such a thing? Hunt. I met a guy in the US earlier this year, and, after hello, he literally said I'm a venture capitalist and I just made $10 million from a company that Google bought out. He then started banging on about Google basically giving them money to go away. To be honest, I sympathized with Google. Caveat, it might have been Facebook or Microsoft. I stopped listening pretty quickly. He was probably lying. None of that sounds true at all. Lying and or trying to draw them into some sort of pyramid scheme. If they harshly criticize you for making a mistake, it's fine to be annoyed with someone for making a mistake, but it's not okay to bully them over it. I was called a retard once as a teenager by a so-called friend because I bought her the wrong item for her birthday present. I remember feeling like the most stupidest person on the planet. Edit. Okay guys, I'm aware I've made a grammar boo-boo. I had a friend who would remind me, or bring up my mistakes, or try to embarrass me in front of other people constantly. I'm still not sure what she was trying to do. It only made her look like an asshole. Knew a guy with a tattoo that read "fuck you, pay me." That's a little off-putting. Work with a guy that has stay down tattooed across his knuckles. Just awful people. Hey, my friend has fuck this on his knuckles and he's a great guy. He's currently in jail. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for I upload daily and suggest what subreddit I should cover next. Thank you and happy travels.